Our listener today wants to do the best thing. So they're wondering, how did you do the research? Where did you go to do the research? What did you do to find out what your avatar really wanted?
Absolutely. It's a little bit easier today because we have AI. But when I did it, I went to Ask the Public, I think is the name of the website.
Answer.
Yeah, Answer the Public. And I saw what Google was telling me. I also did a focus group. I knew who my target audience was, and I did a focus group with them, not on
How?
Zoom or anything like that, but I sent out a survey.
Okay.
And in the survey, I said, my podcast exists to help you fill in the blank with what your outcome is. Ask them, what are the 3 areas that you feel are keeping you the most stuck as it pertains to this? And then I ask it a different way and I ask them, what would be the top 3 episodes that you would not miss if I aired it? And then I looked at how those answers came in. And if there was one that was a complete outlier that I was like, I don't even know why I would ever talk about this, I didn't do it. But what I recognized is that there was a lot of trends. And it just gives you so much more insight into what it is that they want and need. And the reason why I feel like that's so important is because as the expert, we know what it is that they really want, or we know what it is that they really need, but that's not always what they recognize that they need. And so what I did is that I took what it was that they told me they wanted. That's how I titled it, and that's how I started it. But then I shifted to, but here's what I know. And then that's when I gave them what it is that they really need. Because if they knew what they needed, they wouldn't need me.
Okay. So, for example, I'm a podcast coach, and a lot of people come and they want to do CPM model, which would mean that they would make $20 per 1,000 listeners. And if they're an average podcast, they probably have 90 listeners. So they'll probably make less than $2 per episode. So they would come to me saying, how do I monetize with this model? And I would start off my podcast episode with their question. How do you monetize with this model? I'm going to share that with you in this episode. Here's a thing that I know. I'm going to teach you how to do it, but you're only going to make $1.90. So I'm going to teach you another way to make $3,000 per episode or $500 per episode instead of $2.
Absolutely.
Okay. Awesome.
And then
that
you could essentially title it. If you know, like, let's just say, for example, you did the survey and you saw that there were a lot of people that all said they were interested in monetizing with the CPM method. You would title it that, monetizing your show, utilizing the CPM method and more. So that you're like, oh, people, I've had 9 out of 12 people tell me that they were interested in that. So give them what it is that they say they want, but then in that, give them what it is that they really need.
I love how you phrase that. I've got a question, a clarification. Now, the listener, they can just rewind. I could listen another time. But to make sure that we've got this down, you said something when you were asking this survey. You said something like this, and I want you to correct me.
Yeah.
What would be the top 3 episodes that you would listen to and need? Or what was the way to phrase that?
I said, what would be the top 3 episodes that you would not miss if I aired them?
If I aired them. That you would not miss if I aired them. Good stuff. Okay, now 4 was focus on the use of the podcast to monetize differently, not like the gurus. And you're talking about a podcast needing to have a business model, or else it's just a hobby. You mentioned that a lot of people step over the dollars to pick up the dimes. And let's just make sure that this is clear to our listener today.
Absolutely.
What are they missing here? How are they tripping over the dollars, and how do they get them?
Because so many of us are looking for money for our show. The real money to be made is to get money because of your show. Let me give you an example. Let's say that you have a podcast that is teaching business owners how to be productive, right? Every episode is here's all the different ways that you can be productive, you can be effective, and you can be efficient as a business owner. What if I taught you how to contact the corporation that's on the other side of town? Let's just say Coca-Cola. You live in Atlanta and Coca-Cola is on the other side of town. And I taught you how to pitch your expertise to Coca-Cola to work with their high potential leaders on becoming more productive. So now, instead of that $1.90 for your episode on how to be productive, now instead of even that $3,000 money that you could get for your show, you could now potentially get a $50,000 contract to go in twice for 2 hours to Coca-Cola to teach their leaders how to be productive. So what I'm saying is that look at your expertise in other ways that you can appeal, especially to the mass market. Many times as podcasters, we're only thinking about how do we get money for the show. What I'm saying is that if you have an ecosystem of products and services and partnerships that you build with your show at the foundation, that's how you really elevate your income. And what I recognized, Adam, was because since 2012, 13, I've been landing corporate contracts and corporate sponsors and teaching business owners how to do the same. For the 5 years that I've had a show, it's so much easier to do so because I'm now able to use my show to get my foot in the door with these decision makers, which makes it so much easier than when I only could find them online, when I could only find them hoping that I could grab them for 5 minutes after they spoke at an event.